First at 4 today, we begin with the latest on the school tragedy out of Texas this week. New since noon today. Police say a commander made the wrong decision by not sending officers immediately into the classroom during this week's mass shooting. Law enforcement officials say the 18-year-old gunman entered the school through an unlocked, propped open door without being confronted by anyone. Officers responded within minutes but took cover when they were fired at. Today, we also learned it took an hour before an elite Border Patrol team entered the school and killed the shooter. By then, 19 children and 2 teachers had been killed.
The on-scene commander considered it a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. Obviously, based upon the information we have, there were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation.
President Biden and the First Lady are scheduled to visit Uvalde on Sunday. Today, Rhode Island's congressional delegation joined together to discuss legislation they say will help offset these mass shootings. 12 News reporter Brittany Schaefer was at today's announcement. She joins us live with what they are proposing and why they say these bills haven't passed. Brittany.
No one should have to live in a war zone.
The reality of 19 children shot to death in their 4th grade classroom is gut-wrenching, but Senator Jack Reed says there's more to this ugly picture.
There have been 27 shootings on school campuses this year alone. One is too many. 27 is a stain on our country.
We were elected to lead, and we're in a position to offer more than thoughts and prayers. Let's act.
The acts the delegates want to see passed federally are on the Senate floor. They include an assault weapon ban, a red flag law, and stricter background checks to purchase firearms. But the lawmakers say there's one barrier.
At least 10 Republicans and Republicans in the Senate.
Thursday, Second Amendment advocates told 12 News the tragedies are being used to push an agenda, citing an issue with the mental health crisis and gun owners rather than getting rid of guns. The disagreement resulting in little movement on Capitol Hill.
How can you be happy when they say nothing gets done in Washington, D.C.? It's extremely frustrating to hear of the gridlock.
But across the aisle, Democrats and Republicans seem to agree on this.
All Americans, and especially children, deserve safe schools, places of worship, shopping malls, movie theaters, concert venues. When children can't go to school in America and feel safe, we are failing children.
And when I asked Senator Jack Reed how quickly these bills could pass if both parties come to an agreement, his answer, fast, within days. Brian.
And Brittany, currently there is a federal background check to purchase a gun. What amendments to that does Rhode Island's delegation want to see?
Well, currently, federally, if a background check takes longer than 3 days, the gun shop is allowed to give the buyer a gun regardless of a background check or not. Currently, this new bill has passed in the House, which would require a background check for all purchases of firearms. Brian, back to you.
Brittany Schaefer live for us this afternoon. Thanks so much.
We begin at 5 with the school tragedy in Texas, putting faces to the names. For the first time, we're seeing the photos of all 19 students and 2 teachers who were killed at Robb Elementary School on Tuesday.
As loved ones mourn their losses and plan funeral services, the investigation continues into the police response to the shooting.
Today, authorities say the decision by the on-site commander to delay breaching the classroom was the wrong decision. Texas Department of Public Safety Director Stephen McCraw says nearly 20 officers stood in a hallway for more than 45 minutes before agents used a master key to open a door and confront the gunman.
McCraw says the on-site commander believed 18-year-old Salvador Ramos was barricaded in a classroom and that the children were not at risk. Multiple 911 calls came from within a classroom.
She identified herself and whispered she's in room 112. At 12:10, she called back. In room 12, advised there were multiple dead. Again at 12:16, she called back and said there was 8 to 9 students alive. She hung up when another student told her to hang up. At approximately 12:43 and 12:47, she asked 911 to please send the police now. We do know this, that he shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence at that time, at least 100 rounds. And there were as many as 19 officers at that time in that hallway.
Stephen McCraw also confirmed that the officers did in fact kill the suspect. A Texas congressman has asked the FBI to launch an investigation into the police response to the shooting.
Meantime, a vigil in memory of the victims was held today in Newtown. The Connecticut community knows all too well the grief Uvalde is experiencing. It's been nearly 10 years since 20 children and 6 educators were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Similar to Newtown, the gunman in Uvalde was a young white man who shot his caretaker before attacking the school.
And Rhode Island's 4 federal lawmakers in the state today to talk about gun legislation.
12 News reporter Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with what's being proposed. Brittany?
Well, Mike Shannon, the news conference started with a sobering fact. 27 shootings on school campuses in America just this year alone. And with 19 fourth-grade children on top of mind, Rhode Island lawmakers say it's a crisis that needs to be addressed.
Guns have become the leading cause of death for American kids.
Congressman David Cicilline presenting a CDC statistic with a stark reality. Today, Rhode Island's 4 delegates talk solutions.
Not one of them is going to solve it all, but taken together, they can make a real difference.
The 3 main pieces of legislation the Democrats want to be law include an assault weapon ban.
I used to carry an assault weapon for a living when I was in the Army. These weapons are designed to kill people.
A federal red flag law that allows police or family to petition for a court order to temporarily take away someone's firearm if they are deemed a threat to themselves or the public.
The Buffalo mass shooter was taken into custody just months before the shooting because he made threats about shooting.
And a stricter background check to purchase firearms.
Problem is, thousands upon thousands of guns are sold with no background check because of loopholes. That's what those bills will fix. And they're sitting in the Senate because Republicans are blocking them.
Second Amendment advocates argue the solution is addressing mental health and gun owners rather than getting rid of guns. Some Republicans suggesting arming teachers with firearms. Rhode Island's delegates blame more than their counterparty.
So it's time to be so sick of this that we're willing to take on the institutions that make it possible rather than just grieve when these horrors take place.
And Senator Jack Reed says gun manufacturers need to be held accountable. He says the majority of Americans want assault weapons to be banned, but it's the power of large corporations that are preventing that from happening. Live in East Providence, I'm Brittany Schaefer, 12 News.